Welcome back to the Talking Hedge. I'm Josh Kincaid, and this is your Cannabis Business Podcast. Today, we're here live at the World Trade Center in Seattle. I'm here with Jim Makoso, founder of Lucid Oils. Jim is a cannabis extraction processing professional in the cannabis industry. In January 2015, he co-founded Lucid Lab Group, a cannabis extraction technology company based in Seattle. Jim's vision was to create a scientific approach to cannabis essential oil processing by utilizing customized capital equipment in combination with proven scientific processes. By taking a quality-centric approach, Jim has created a company culture known throughout the industry for quality in product and process. Prior to co-founding Lucid, Jim engaged Vuber Technologies as an angel investor in January of 2014. He joined the business management team, where he held the position of vice president responsible for strategic partnerships and business development until October of 2015. He remained on the board of directors until December of 2016, and by spearheading a business model focused on product development while maintaining a customer-first approach, Vuber has become a leading vaporizer company with strong partnerships that include manufacturers, cultivators, processors, and retailers throughout the U.S. Prior to his involvement in the cannabis industry, Jim was a finance professional in New York for 6 years. He holds an economics degree from Stony Brook University with a focus in business finance. Jim, thanks for being on board.
Thanks for having me.
Terpenes are hydrocarbons similar to solvents like butane and propane in extracts. So does this create a dichotomy when discussing solvent-free options like rosin?
Yeah, in a way. I think what you're touching on is a lot of the miseducation that we see in the cannabis industry. We're still very much in the infancy of this industry from a professional standpoint, but what you're talking about is true. Yeah, terpenes are hydrocarbons. They have unique properties, and in some cases act just like any other solvent would. And certainly that's where you're seeing some people produce some of these really cool products, like, for instance, diamonds, which are a lot of the craze right now, is really just people taking fresh frozen material, extracting it with hydrocarbons at cold temperatures, and using the terpenes that are in there to resolubilize the cannabinoid sample, such that it produces these pure crystalline THCA structures. And the terpenes from the plant itself are what's acting as the solvent to allow these crystals, these THCA crystals, to grow. But to go back
real quick, what makes diamonds desirable?
What makes diamonds desirable as a product is, one, they're pretty cool looking because it's a solid, pure THCA crystal. The THCA, or the acid form of the THCA molecule, forms a crystalline structure, and it needs a certain environment in order to do that. What makes it really cool is that after you've removed the hydrocarbons or the butane and propane mix, depending on what you're using to extract, what's left is just terpenes and cannabinoids. And in the case of high THC or plants, a THCA crystal, which is really high in purity, and when you have those little terpenes left over, produces a beautiful product. There's a bunch of really good companies here in Washington and in California and Nevada, kind of where we operate, that are producing excellent products that have no residual solvents left over whatsoever, but certainly have these great flavors, and you get basically a product that's very, very similar to the plant itself. So unlike other forms of extract where you're damaging terpenes, damaging other components of the plant, flavonoids and other things, alcohols and esters that are in there, this gives you at least a flavor and taste profile and an effect that's similar to what you'd get from smoking, say, or vaping a flower. But to go back to what you were discussing previously, when it comes to terpenes being a hydrocarbon, and in certain domiciles, I wouldn't say in all Canada, but in certain areas, certain provinces, and certain towns in Canada that are completely against hydrocarbon because they've seen the stories of people blowing themselves up. These people who are doing open blasting still in some of these undeveloped states. These places in Canada were much more conservative here about this and just make it illegal. Can't do it. What I would say to that point is, it's just people are misinformed. But when we look at the safety component of operating with solvents in general, anytime you are stressing safety in an operation, be it at the state or provincial, federal, state, or even in your local municipality, I think that's a good thing. The problem that you get when you have so much regulation and misinformation is as a person who's looking to get into that space, and let's say your interest was operating with solvents, you need to be, kind of a flag bearer and go and meet with these regulators and explain to them why what you're doing is safe and being able to prove it with a process and engineering solutions and experience that show that you've operated with these solvents and pieces of equipment successfully and safely in the past. So information is the big kind of missing component to these new markets. People need to be informed, and that goes from the federal level all the way down to local municipalities.
So with that, we're going to roll this one up. I'm Josh Kincaid. This is the Talking Hedge. I want to thank my guest, Jim Makoso with Lucid Oils. Check him out. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, or don't. And I'm out.